How police DSS mobilized armed thugs to infiltrate Ipob supporters during Nnamdi Kanu's trial, attack Sowore and journalists. Welcome to the news and please subscribe to our channel. At the resumed hearing of a trumped-up amended 15-count charge against the Ipob leader by the Nigerian government on Tuesday, some supporters had converged on the Federal Minister of Justice's premises as early as 8 a.m. in solidarity with their leader. Personnel of the Nigerian Police and Department of State Services recruited armed thugs to infiltrate the supporters of the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, to attack human rights activists Omoyele Sowore and some journalists during Kanu's trial at the Federal High Court, Abuja, Sahara reporters had learned. Now, information getting to us was that, again, it happened. Sowore has been in the news for some time, and this is because he's a never-give-up person. She's a never-give-up person, and he's actually someone who always speaks up. I don't know. He does things, and for a long time now, he has been in the news for things he do. He speaks up against those who are being humiliated. He depends. How do I put it now? He so much believes in revolution, that Nigeria should be, things should be changed, that revolution should happen in Nigeria for things to go back to normal. And the government have not stopped to abuse and harass that man. And he's not even stopping. He's somebody he's saying there is nothing you can, as in, he's not doing anything wrong. He's not somebody that is a criminal. The government still attack him, and he's not backing down. Now, information got to us, I think that first day that Nnamdi Kanu case was, the first day of his sitting, I think on the 18th of January, he was actually attacked, he was attacked. I am asking myself, wow, so Nigerian government can stoop so low. And before actually it even happened, we even heard that they have stripped him off, they have taken his names down as in his national identity card is no longer working, his international passport is no longer working. That means if he wants to travel out now, if they try to screen his details on their portal, it will not pop up. And without confirming it there, he can't even go. A lot of things, and I'm asking, so Nigerian government can stoop so low, they can go to the lowest of this low for this. Now they are now hiring thugs. Who does this thing for this country? Some people will come out and praise this administration. Are they seeing what this one is doing? We're in a democratic administration, we're in a democratic system, we practice democratic system of government in Nigeria. And yet, some military, you still see some military, or will I say, anarchy type of government raising its ugly head. And people will still come out and say, their principal have done well, he's the best. And I'm saying kudos. Until it happens to you. When you step down and your principal step down and somebody else does this to you, I hope you're going to say that he's actually doing it well. The news in detail, please stay with us. In what can be described as a show of force by the lawless armed DSS operative and the police, the security agents cordoned off the perimeter and blocked all the access roads leading to the court's premises. Some journalists whose names were not on the accredited major list were also denied access into the court premises. After a heated argument ensued between the media and the security personnel, the general decided to maintain a distance from the DSS operatives as they mounted their cameras in front of Bayelsa House to enable them get their shot. Meanwhile, at this point, the DSS operative believed to have knowledge of the game plan and infiltration told the journalists to stay away from the Ipob supporters and not to mingle with them to avoid some hoodlums hiding among them. It was gathered that the security personnel had told the thugs to take advantage of Ipob supporters who were not well coordinated and organized to wreak havoc on Sowore as soon as arrived at the location. But the imposters were said to be disappointed when the activity did not show up on Tuesday as planned. Sources who spoke to Sahara reporters said that on Wednesday, the day of a trial, the divisional police officer of the Federal Secretariat Police Station, TSP, Abdullahi Abubakar Hassan, allegedly recruited some thugs to carry out the hatchet job with the help of some police officers who were in mufti. Sahara reporters gathered that the latest attack, which is the fourth on the activists, was coordinated by the FCT Criminal Investigation Department and the DSS. The DPA was physically present in each case. A black Jeep was said to have been parked at the other side of a road close to the location where the roadblock was mounted by the police, believed to be working in cahoots with the attackers, who also disguised as security operatives. Some of the thugs were said to have come out of the vehicle upon sighting Sowore and infiltrated the crowd that was cheering the activist after he was turned back by the DSS. The hoodlums, who already conceived knives and machetes in their clothes, were joined by a few others who emerged from the other side of the road and attacked people indiscriminately. Sowore, who was about to address journalists who had set up their cameras at the other side of the road, was escaped by the whiskers. Meanwhile, some supporters of the activist and Ipob leader Kano, in an attempt to ward off the attack on the activists, were seriously injured, therefore forcing the assailant to descend on journalists covering the scene. The thugs, who also took advantage to snatch cameras and mobile phones, were chased by Sowore supporters, which led to the arrest of one of them who was beating up a journalist in an attempt to steal his camera. He was beaten up by the crowd upon his arrest by the crowd, but later rescued by the DPO, Abdullahi Abubakar Hassan, who had initially watched the attackers to perpetrate the dastardly act. Abubakar, who later rescued the arrested thug from a crowd disguised as if he was arresting him, as he made 2 attempts to shoot in the air, but his service pistol jammed. A joint security task force arrived at the scene after the attacker had fled, fired tear gas canisters at the Ipob supporters and dispersed them. The task force, which included the police, army, DSS, the Air Force, the Civil Defense Corps, and the Navy, had been patrolling the perimeter of the court on surveillance, but were nowhere to be found when the sponsored thugs invaded the court. A man believed to be a policeman who participated in the attack was also sighted changing his clothes under a tree. The spokesperson of an FCT Police Command, DSP Ade Josephine, did not respond to a message sent to her mobile phone by journalists when contacted for reaction if the police would prosecute those arrested in connection with the attack. The FCT Commissioner of Police, Babaji Sunday, also downplaying the attack when he was asked by journalists during a press conference on Wednesday. Sunday, who was evasive on the question, said there was no clash between police and protesters, and he declined comment on the attack on the activists and journalists. Sahara reporters had on Tuesday reported how the security operatives granted access to pro-government protesters who stormed the court wielding national flags. The protesters were allowed to converge directly in front of the court singing anti-Ipob song, while the protesters loyal to the Nnamdi Kanu were chased away. It will be recalled that Sowore was arrested after he was beaten on July 26, 2021, while attending Kanu's trial, and his mobile phone and gadgets seized before he was taken to Federal Secretariat's police station. Nigeria, is this the Nigeria we want? Is this the one Nigeria we want? A Nigeria where police will stand by and somebody will be murdered in cold blood. Police officers will not get shame. Ha! Now, wow! On this note, we've come to the end of the news. We say thank you for tuning in to listen. Until I come your way next time, enjoy the rest of the day.